Swaran brothers, and he will tell us about Sri Lankan tea and the Pakistani market. How interesting.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, my dearest friends. First of all, let me thank the organizers, especially our dearest friend, Mr. Hanif Janu, for giving me what is known as the graveyard shift. Just after lunch, and that too a sumptuous, great lunch, to be able to talk about Sri Lanka tea, which is, to be honest, almost non-existent in Pakistan today. I'm sure it is a great challenge, and I hope I'll have the full support and attention of all of you to get through these 20 minutes. Dearest ladies and gentlemen, we are from the beautiful island of Sri Lanka, and we do have my other colleagues from Sri Lanka. I request them, if they are here in the room, to stand up and be recognized. We have Mr. Mohammad Anwar Ali, Shiraz Akbar Ali, Prasanna from Imperial Teas, and also we have the honor of having the Consul General, Mr. Jagat Abewarna. So we are not a big contingent as the East Africans. We are just 4 of us. But compared to what teas are being shipped from Sri Lanka to here, to compete with us, the entire Kenya has to come here, because we shipped only almost nothing to Pakistan in the last few months. May I have the presentation, please? So I'll start with Lahore Gaddafi Stadium. The year is 1996. It was a time when a nation came together. Okay, so just before I go, I just saw this morning when this slide was there, and there was something common between the 3 pictures, the tea leaf, our flag, and the Pakistani flag. We have green. And the interesting thing about having green in the Sri Lankan flag, and of course the orange, is that the orange represents the Hindu minority, and the green represents the Muslims in Sri Lanka. It is one of the unique flags which recognizes in its national flag the entire population. So it's and of course tea is, and the green gold of tea is represented all across. So I was just about the Gaddafi Stadium in 1996. I will let my captain speak for you.
That's it, all the way to the boundary for 4. What a victory for the Sri Lankans. A fantastic effort by them. Their players are charging out onto the ground. The Aussies shaking them by the hand.
All along that you wanted to have another crack at Australia, you got your way, and you guys fought very hard.
I thought the boys played really well. I think I should thank the Pakistan public. I think they were really behind us right throughout the game, and I should thank.
So as you can see, it was a nation coming together to support another nation that made us actually win. And the captain, the first thank you note he made was to the Pakistani population. And ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you here, not for anything else, but to thank each and every one of you, to thank the tea trade of Pakistan for giving us, Sri Lanka, a great time during the 1970s and giving us a real big boost for the Sri Lankan tea, for the Ceylon tea, with which we have, of course, even though we are not there now, we have gone quite ahead. I am not here to just talk about the good old days, as we always say, but to see if I can reflect on what had happened and take some lessons which I'm sure will be of inspiration, not just to myself, to especially the younger people of the tea trade. So it was the 1971 when the East Pakistan trade came to a grinding halt, and Pakistan was looking for tea, and some great entrepreneurs, visionaries, took the shores of Sri Lanka to see if they can introduce Ceylon tea into the Pakistani market. The story of Ishwaran Brothers, which is the company I represent, is something of importance here, not just because I come from that company, but it was how the right mix of good business practices, business ethics, trust and partnership, and above all, love and passion for what one is doing can make a big success in business beyond one's imagination. And rest of my presentation, I hope I'll be able to communicate that to you. So Mr. Ishwaran, my late father, had by that time, that is in the 1972, had a small business for about, by that time it was about 5-6 years. He was exporting tea, and you can see the picture of my grandfather at the back, because he wanted his son to start in the tea business. It was the enterprise, and not only our company, many companies in Sri Lanka was vying for the business of Pakistan, which was just coming up during those days. The enterprising brothers of Haji Usman Janu and Haji Razak Janu were the, I'm told, the path breakers and trailblazers of Jodia Bazaar, who were pushing for the Sri Lankan tea to be marketed into Pakistan. I may be missing out on names, please pardon me, because I mean, it is 50 years ago, to be honest. I was born, I mean, I'm not that young, but I wasn't old enough to know the names. I'm told Mr. Mittu Seth, who happens to be Mr. Janu's father-in-law, struck a friendship with, my dad struck a friendship with Mr. Mittu Seth, and he came and stayed at our house, and stayed for 3 months, believe it or not, eating idli and dosa. We are vegetarians, for 3 months, and the only words that he knew how to speak with us was yes and no. With all that, he helped us create the now forgotten but once famous standard 1013, 1013. This was our warehouse where, as you can see, chests of teas are being cut. It wasn't a machine like we have tea bag machines which can produce 300, 400 bags a minute, but those days they had to cut each chest to the size the Pakistani market wanted. And it was all done by hand. And Ishwaran's standard 1013, from 0 to over 1,000, thousands of chests of teas were shipped. Those days there were no containers, so they were shipped. There were no mobile phones to check the prices, so it used to be going by cable, which is telegram those days, and then later telex machines were introduced. So with that, our company was in the forefront, shipping thousands and thousands of chests of teas to the tea traders of all over Pakistan and especially Jodia Bazaar. With the wholehearted support of Mr. Abu Talib of Aslam Trading, his son is here, Aslam is here, I suppose, and the trust of many importers like Idris Brothers, Wahid Khwaja, Rehan Brothers, and of course the Paltis and many, many others whose name I may be missing. I would really love if any of you in the audience would like to give me those names. I definitely would want to keep a record of that and pay my gratitude to them. And of course the Janu family, who actually were competitors at that time. They were promoting a competitive standard 276 from a company called Carson's in Sri Lanka. And, but now, you know, we've become very, very close. And to this day, even though there is absolutely no business that that is no business relationship we have for the last 20 plus years. But we have some of the best moments, best relationships, best friendships between many Sri Lankan companies. It's not just my family alone. Many Sri Lankan families have with the tea trade in Pakistan. And I think that, ladies and gentlemen, is where the beauty of business that was there at that time is probably missing now. But I'm sure we can take inspiration from that. The other standards like 276, and also another standard that was mentioned was standard 555, which was imported by Mr. Parachas. It was by Mr. Jayantha Fernando, another tea trader. So these are names just I'm sprinkling so that, their memories should live forever within the Pakistani tea trade. And again, the key point to note is that it was keen, clean, gentlemanly, and above all, passion and friendship that drove the business in those days. And that is the success of the blend of Ceylon tea. Not anything else, my dear friends. It is family friendship, ethical business, and trust. And I'll just quickly go through some pictures as we speak. I mean, you may recognize few people here and there. And these are from old picture repositories. After I was given the opportunity, I traced out. And my uncle Murugesh, who was also regularly visiting here, used to say that he had to, whenever they visited here, they had to go for 2 lunches, 2 breakfasts, 2 dinners, and in order to oblige all the love and affection that the tea traders and everybody else was showering on them. And I just would like to remind, I've only had 1 breakfast and 1 lunch over the last 2 days. And here are some of the pictures of Pakistan and the friendship that they were enjoying. And this is a completely idyllic picture. I think, in today's day and age, if anybody saw 4 young men on a bed like this, we would think otherwise. But just see the friendship in their faces. And truly, it was beyond business. It is the joy that they were having of being together, the company of each other, and on the way doing some great business. And see these handsome gentlemen. I don't know what they were trying to do. And this was my family visiting Pakistan. And this was written on the back of that photograph by Mr. Wahid Khaja, Sweet Memories, it says. And the second ingredient, I mean, of course, before coming to this, I've got to talk about another important ingredient which I showed, which was ethical business practices. And I would like to relate a story that I'm regularly told. There was a point where the Sri Lankan government withdrew the export duty that the exporters were to pay. And there was a drastic and sudden reduction, which meant that there was a ripple effect in the Pakistani tea market where many traders have booked at higher prices, shipments were coming. So it was causing a big loss to the traders. That's what they say always, the traders say they're losing money. But that was supposed to be a big loss to the traders. And many Sri Lankan exporters were reluctant to pass on that benefit that the Sri Lankan government was giving, but it was affecting the trade in Pakistan. And I'm told that my father was one of the first, or the first person to come to Karachi and offer a full refund, which was running into millions of rupees at that time. And later, everybody followed suit, and all the money came back to Pakistan. I'm also told Mr. Hanif Janu was staying in a Colombo hotel for over 40 days until he collected every rupee, and more, I'm sure. And you can definitely believe that he would do that, right? That business ethics and that trust, and I'm also proud to say that the 1013, never had a quality issue over the years that we were shipping. So it is trust, which is an important ingredient of success when it comes to tea. This beautiful, family-oriented, enjoyable, strong, ethical business relationship, it continues to date. Mr. Hanif Janu is actually sitting on our company board. He's one of the non-executive directors. And we have continued to enjoy that excellent company to the third generation with even his grandson. Today, I stand in front of you. Actually, it's nice to talk about all these, exciting and fun times. But the reality is that today I'm here on behalf of Sri Lanka at a time, at a juncture where Sri Lanka has to export more. You may have heard the situation back home. Of course, it's not as bad as what is shown in media, but it is bad. We have got to accept that fact. And I'm told Pakistan is following. I've been telling, do not follow, be as far behind as possible from us in this particular situation, because it is not a good place to be. However, we who can export have to try harder. It may sound like coming to Pakistan and trying to sell tea is like selling refrigerators to the Eskimos at this stage, especially Ceylon tea. But I've got to try, and I'm here to try that. So, we lost you. We lost Pakistan tea market because of price, because of the taste that you got hooked into from the Kenyan strong cup. But still, we have something to offer. Something special, something that will be useful for the younger tea drinkers of today, for the new millennia, who always want to look for something different in every cup. And the quality that comes from a blend of hand-picked, high-grown, medium-grown, and low-grown teas, which are unique to the Sri Lankan terrain and the beautiful country that you can see. And it's not just limited to one Ceylon tea. I mean, this is something that I got from the Ceylon tea, the Sri Lanka tea board. We have 7 regions, and each region has a unique flavor. And I'm sure when you're drinking, like Mr. Hanif Janu does, 7, 8, 10 cups of tea a day, I'm sure you can replace 1 cup with the Ceylon tea and the delectable, aromatic, exquisite flavor from any one of these 7 regions. So I'll just quickly go through some of the regions. So we have Nuvarelia, which is a delicate, it's known as the champagne of teas. We have Dimbulla, we have, and the weather patterns which create the unique flavor during the seasons. Uva, which is, the Japanese wait for the uva season to pick up everything because it's got that unique flavor which comes during the season, a natural minty flavor. So my request to the tea packers of Pakistan and to the tea trade is kindly try and introduce a Ceylon tea range in your growing range of products. I'm sure the younger consumers will pick up 1 pack to have that 1 cup, maybe even once a day or at least once a week. And in tribute of all the tea traders and my father who created the 1013 tea, we created in our company, we are now into a lot of value-added retail packs, gift packs and so on. So we created a replica tea chest with a 1013 blend, the original 1013 blend made by the same person who did the blend. I've got a few packs with me. I mean, ultimately, I would love to see this at least on the shelves of some specialty shops. I'm sure Pakistani customers will want that. I would like to end my presentation, which is almost time now, just showing you from where we were, you might be wondering what happened to Ceylon tea. Without selling it to Pakistan, are we still around? Yes, of course we are around. We are one of the innovative and maximum value addition tea exporting countries in the world. 40+% of our teas are going as shelf-ready packs. As a company, we also have grown. We have manufacturing units in many parts of the world, more than Sri Lanka. We are a large value-added tea exporting company in Sri Lanka. And we are the first carbon-neutral tea company in the world, and we also have the first patented tea bag from this part of the world. So I'd like to show you 2 quick 30-second videos to just show how the company that grew because of the tea traders of Pakistan and where it has reached today.
Wake up. Meditate. Go to work. Wait. Tea time. Introducing Tea-Go. It's time to play. Steep, stir, sip, and go. Enjoy a delicious cup of tea wherever you are with our patented spoon and tea bag design. Taking the world at large? No problem. Exploring the unknown reaches of a faraway land? We got you. Busy experiencing the fullness of life with the winds of opportunity filling your lungs? Why not? Sri Lankan grown tea. Bright, vibrant, and active. Just like you. Tea-Go.
And this is the flagship brand that's available in more than 30 countries.
Tea. For us, it's a way of life. For 3 generations, we've handpicked our tea, giving you the best cup of sustainably grown goodness imaginable. Quality Ceylon tea meets origin-sourced herbs. We call it Olinda. Premium, holistic, unforgettable. Wellness done right. We've made it our responsibility to give you tea with conscience. Flavorful and aromatic, nutritious and ethical. It's more than a cup of tea. When you drink, they learn. When you enjoy, they thrive. Our foundation provides 400 children with educational services. And for every 100 packets you open, we'll plant a tree in the southern rainforests of Sri Lanka. Taking care of the planet, taking care of people, taking care of you. Live well naturally. Olinda.
So I would like to end with a small reminder. We were your first love. It doesn't hurt to flirt once in a while with your first love. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time.
We will request you to stay back.